guys, Brian and Jeff with Wrenches and Rides, and we are working on our 2019 Polaris Turbo S4, installing a Super ATV Flip Up windshield. Now this Flip Up windshield is available for your normal Polaris RZR, but also for the Turbo S, and it gives you a few options of having the window completely closed, having it open a little bit for some air gap to get through, or to flip it all the way open and ride so you have quite a bit of air flowing through the cab. Little different from what we're used to. I'm used to a half windshield complete.
My old machine, I had a full windshield. I got a half one on the new one. So it's gonna be something new.
Yeah, this is gonna be something different for us to try out. But what we wanna talk to you guys about is the installation of this windshield, which I would highly suggest you do it with a second person.
Yeah, some of the things are pretty tight, and trying to get bolts and nuts in by yourself.
We're gonna have some great tips and tricks for you on this. So to start off, the instructions are not horrible. They tell you exactly where to start, which is to start putting the hardware on the windshields that you have. Now we tried to keep all the white protective coating on everything until the last minute, just to save any possible scratches if a tool was moved or anything like that. But putting on this rubber foam or rubber
the weather stripping,
it took a little bit of muscle, and you got to make sure that you get it nice and tight so that it follows all the grooves around.
Yeah, you might think you've got it in, but you don't really have it locked in place. So really push it on tight.
From there, install your hardware fairly loose. It's nice to have everything in place, but there's no need to really tighten anything down because you'll notice everything is slotted. So you're going to want to be able to adjust this up later. We moved on and installed the bottom portion of the windshield right off the bat. We thought, you know, let's just get this on. And we did make a small mistake, which was maybe tightening it down a little bit too soon.
Yeah, we ended up actually moving the lower windshield up maybe an 1/8 inch to make the gap to the top windshield a little tighter.
So when you put the bottom on, just snug it in place, let it sit, come back to it later. Now the instructions for the top tell you to put the hardware on and then put all your rubber gaskets in place. Do that, you're gonna need to. Make sure you clock or look at the clocking of how you put those clamps on the top. You can either put a wide section in or a wide section out. Doesn't matter what way you do it, just make sure that you keep them that way, because we're gonna tell you to remove the 2 bolts that are holding that upper windshield on, take the clamps over to your machine, put them on the machine. Don't tighten them down, but get them completely installed on the machine, and then bring the windshield over and then screw in the bolts through the windshield to the clamps.
And don't put the foam padding on the clamps. It's not needed. It makes it a lot harder to try to compress that clamp.
That's true. So that was probably one of the biggest struggles that we had with this, because we followed the instructions, put everything on, and tried to mess with having a roof that's kind of hanging here, not completely installed.
A windshield that's hanging there, and you're trying to put clamps on it.
Where you have absolutely no room for fingers. So having those clamps in place before is going to make a huge difference in your install time, because you can just move the clamps around where there need be, put in those bolts, tighten them down, level everything up as you want it. Then you can start working on the 4 clamps that hold the upper windshield to your A-pillar. Those are pretty simple. I mean, there's another nut.
Yeah, you've got some side-to-side adjustments. If they're a little out of alignment, no big deal.
Then just tighten these guys up pretty fair. Once you have the top in place, you can start to tighten everything up, but make sure everything is lining up so it's equal on each side. And what we did is drop the windshield down. We seen at that point that our lower windshield was too low. So then we just moved everything up into place to make it look as we wanted it to look. And then we started adjusting everything as far as the lever that's going to hold your windshield either fully closed or partially open, and also the latch that's on the lower windshield, to make sure that everything was as tight as we wanted it or as loose as we wanted it.
Right.
This is a pretty decent design. I really think that there's some great thought that went into this. If you could change one thing, what would it be?
Wow, nothing like putting me on the spot. I don't know, it opens up so many different options for you with having the 3 positions. If I would have changed, I would have made the hardware all black.
I agree. That's the one thing that throws this off when you look at it on your machine, like, you know, especially these 2 big ones on the front.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be something that we're going to have to get out a little black paint or paint marker just to clean it up a little bit, make it look like it belongs on a dark machine. You know, if you didn't have a black or a really dark machine, you'd never notice it, but it stands out on this. Screwing the roof back down was simple. We do have these, the Allen heads are hitting slightly up here, and maybe if you switch this around, you could put the Allen head the different way, but you can't get in to tighten these up unless you have the bolt down. So they're hitting up here, but we just put a little bit of the extra foam we had over top so that it didn't rattle or do anything. This is it. 2-hour install for us to get it absolutely perfect. Think about what we're doing.
That was videoing, so if you're not videoing, going through the hassle we did, you could probably do it in an hour, a little over an hour.
Yeah, with some good instructions of how to go through it. If you guys are watching this prior to, or you've watched on the Super ATV's YouTube channel and seen it, I think you could get through it a lot faster. But either way, what we'd like to know is your comments below. If you have this windshield, your preference between no windshield, half windshield, full windshield, flip up windshield, flip down windshield, or glass windshield, windshield wiper. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do in here. There's a lot of ways you can invest. This is also a scratch resistant windshield, so that'll be nice when we're trying to clean it off on the trail as this stuff gets dusty. But we appreciate your time watching this. We look forward to your comments. Please subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of cool videos out on side-by-sides and different things like that. Give us a like in this video. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.